Hello, I want to go over the first prep assignment for the literature review paper that you'll be writing this term. I want to be able to explain to you how to complete this form. Also want to teach you a little bit about doing research online through the library at the school and how to account for that work, and then also how to develop and build your reference page. The last page of your literature review paper will be the bibliography or the reference page. These are the sources for the body of your text. So it's important that this all be done accurately and appropriately. As a reminder, we will be using the APA format for writing and citation. That's the American Psychological Association. And that's really the standard for a lot of collegiate writing that you will be doing during your time in school. So first, the paper that we have here that you will bring to class has several things on it that I want to point out. Obviously, I need your name in this area right in here. I will also need to know what is the general topic of your paper. This isn't set in stone. It can change throughout the term, but the idea is to give you an idea how to begin the process of gathering research. The editor's name will be the student that you will work with in class that will review your work. And they'll need to complete their name here when we turn that in. And then they will complete this section right here, just looking at the overall references that they see below. How many of those were peer-reviewed articles? What were websites and books? Did they conform to APA standards? And are your references lacking? And I will review this afterwards, but it's done, reviewed by another student just to help both of you in the learning process. I want to give you some examples. First off, for the online journals. It's assumed these days that no one is going to physically go into a library and go through the stacks and find a hard copy of an article from 2010 in the Journal of Pseudopsychology or whatever it might be. The assumption is now that all of this, or the vast majority of this kind of work, is being done online. But according to APA citation standards for building a reference page, this is how it should look. We have the author or author's name, the date of publication in parentheses, the title of the article, then the title of the online journal or periodical is italicized. There's a volume number and sometimes an issue number, which again would present in a between parentheses. Now this last section right here that says retrieved from, those are not necessary for us, but in some cases the professor might prefer that you include a website address where they could go and actually look at, as they're reading, the cited article that you're referring to. We're not going to worry about that here because sometimes these get to be actually 3 or 4 lines long. But just a quick note, we don't need this last URL address, but everything up here, notice that there is the indentation that's done on the second line and any line following, and that is just the standard. That's the way it is. Now here are 2 examples of how they might look. Here we have a single person, last name, first initial, going there. Here we have another example of more than one. We see that there are 3 authors. The lead author here is listed with first and middle initial, and whenever there is more than one, this is the symbol used, the and symbol, to connect those. And again, how it's laid out here. You might notice that sometimes when there is a citation that you'll see the pages that are listed, and this is something that you can include in your bibliography. Books are done much the same way. Look at how the author line sets up, and the second line is indented. The author, the title of the work, and so on. With this example, we can see that this was written in 2010. Here's the name of the book, The Development of Lifespan, and Boston is the closest city associated with Pearson Education. So that what you're looking for, and this is on the front, usually the second page or so, you will see a list of all the places where this company publishes from. Just choose the city closest to where we are in Pittsburgh. If you use a website, and again, websites are only for background information. You're not going to write an article on something that comes from a website that might be just sort of a blog almost. We need to have something that's much more substantial, which is why we go to journals. But websites are good if they're reputable websites to give some background information or maybe give a definition or two. I would suggest that you have at least 2 online journals. That's the minimum that you are going to copy and paste here over these, and then your book, your textbook. If you use a website, that's optional, but I would suggest at a minimum your book for background information again, or definitions, as well as 2 journals. And again, a website can be used to provide some information. So, in completing this, I want to go to the one example that you'll find the whole paper available to you on Blackboard, but this is how this student presented the final product of the reference page. You can see here the book that's offered, but this is done in an alphabetical fashion. This is not done as some standards would have, that it's the first come, the first referenced article, and then following. The APA standard now is that we do alphabetical top to bottom. So Carpenter obviously before Lansdowne. Now, just to help you with what you're supposed to do for this, if this was our book, I would copy, go back to the literature review, and where the book is, leave this here in place so that the person that edits can see, does it fit the template. So we'll get rid of this, excuse me, it's okay, and paste. And you can see here, this isn't quite correct, so we'll just clean this up a little bit. And indent this. Alright, and you can see that we have the finished product right here. The same can occur with, I'll just do one of these. Copy. And I will just place my example here. And that'll need some cleaning up. It's not just coming in as easily as I'd like. But you get the idea. This is how you will bring your citations, your references into this page right here, so that you will have basically this, the guide, the template, your 2 references here for journals, your book, and then if there are any websites down here, and follow those templates. Good luck. We'll talk a little bit more about doing the online research in the next short video.